Hello, I am Ron Baker. Welcome to episode 28 of Empowered at Last. I am so glad to be continuing the series on answering your questions. I adore that you send in questions. Please, please, please keep sending them in either at ronbaker.net or at my YouTube channel or on Facebook. Either put comments below the YouTube videos or go to the Facebook page Empowered at Last with Ron Baker. All of those areas I will be checking for the particular subjects, questions, and confusions that you have. I much prefer to be talking about things that I know that you are grappling with in your life. And so I'm going to jump right in today to a question that I really love. So many things to say about it. The question is, why can't I mentally come to terms forgiving myself and others in this particular situation, even though I know better? Why can't I mentally come to terms and forgive? The reason I'm pausing is because there are so many things that I'd like to say. If you've been watching and listening to me for very long, there are certain themes that run throughout. And this is because I believe most of the things that are out of balance in our lives boil down to some simple, consistent imbalances. We have not learned as a planet how to connect to the inner self. We have not been handed in our childhoods, only because our parents didn't have the information and tools, because nobody had handed them in their childhood, a clear map of self, a clear understanding of the potential that we all hold, a clear understanding that our inner self and our inner journey is what determines the quality of our lives. Yes, we need outer things, from the simplicity of a roof over our heads and food on the table. We need jobs, we need money flow in order to have places to invest. I am not remotely belittling that, but we have spent so much time and energy on an outer focus that the inner focus just often gets bypassed, invalidated, belittled. Why? Because people don't really know how to connect on the inside in ways that are truly meaningful. But just look at your life at the moment. And believe me, I'm coming back to this question. I'm preparing the ground for this question. So look at your life at the moment. Do you feel fulfilled? Do you have food on your table and a roof over your head? I hope the answer is yes. Chances are, if you have a computer and you're listening to this or watching it on YouTube, you have a roof over your head and food on your table. Do you feel fulfilled as a person because of that? Do you have a job? Do you have some money flow? I didn't say, do you consider it enough? There's a reason why people don't consider what they make and how much money is coming in enough. Because there is no amount of money that is enough to fulfill us on the inside. Why do you think we have recent examples of celebrities who have achieved such high levels of success and money flow, having chosen suicide? Unfulfilled, unresolved, don't know what to do is likely the bottom line. We live in a world where we're seeing this acted out all the time. It just happened to get our attention as a collective because it was two famous people in 1 week. So, are you fulfilled? Physically, emotionally, mentally, sexually, spiritually? It is entirely possible to become more and more and more fulfilled on every one of those levels, but not if you don't know how to connect to the inner self. This is how important it is. Hugely important. 9 nurturing needs create a foundation of trusting that we matter and that it is possible to be fulfilled. Without them, it won't matter how many things and how much money or how much validation. Let's just look at a pop star. Let's look at Britney Spears as an example. Why do I choose her? Because for a long time, her challenges were so shared in the media. Her unhappiness, her struggle. She's certainly not the only one, and I hope that she's happier today than ever. But for a long time, someone who got a lot of validation, because people often think, if I'm just famous, then everyone will like me. These are all myths. I know from my own career of traveling around the world performing, signing tons of autographs, nowhere near the level someone like Britney Spears, but I know that it did not make me happy and fulfilled. Now, does it mean it can't make me happy or fulfilled? Of course it can. If I have a connection to my inner self and I know how to fill the opportunities with my own experience, open to being intimate and connected to everything that's happening, I can be fulfilled with simple things or with grand things. So now we come to this question. Why can't I mentally come to terms forgiving myself and others? Well, I think the one word in that sentence that needs to be tweaked is, why can't I emotionally come to terms and forgive myself and others? I know I should is what I hear when you say, I know better than the behavior that I'm demonstrating. What happens when we have unresolved feelings is we want a way to resolve the feelings, and we carry all this stress, often accompanied by fear and shame, and we might feel wronged by whatever took place. We might feel misunderstood by whatever took place. Whatever the feelings that are unresolved, we can't just mentally or behaviorally transcend this shake-up on the inside, this imbalance on the inside, this anxiety of unresolved feelings on the inside, and simply say, oh, I forgive you. It might be a lovely gesture. You might even mean it as fully as you know how. But until it's resolved emotionally, you can't really let it go. People often say that. Oh, just let go of that. That happened a long time ago. Oh my goodness, I don't understand. That was such a long time ago. I got news for you. I was walking down the street just a week or so ago, and some feelings came up that I've been holding down for decades. Didn't know I was still holding that layer of feelings about unresolved moments from my childhood. But I've done it enough now to stay open and say, I'd be foolish to think I've resolved all of it. I know that it's possible to resolve more and more and more of it, but I had layers of unresolved anxiety, feelings that hadn't been championed and released. And so that part of me had not let go. So I'm suggesting we can't just let stuff go. We have to go in and nurture and re-educate the part of ourself that felt hurt, wronged, misunderstood, or let's just say we acted out in a way that was disrespectful to someone in a clear way, and we feel guilt about it, but we're afraid to apologize, and we don't know what to do with the feelings because I haven't learned to feel safe to admit that I make mistakes. This is a real issue for a lot of people. And so we hold on to the feelings, or we just pretend them away, or we bury them, we distract. But we haven't let it go because it's still energy that is toxic and charged inside us. So, my dear friend who wrote this question, you need some emotional tools. You need to learn how to go inside and discover what you're actually feeling from the situation. If you reach out to me, I'd be more than happy to help. I also have tons of courses that I can offer online that will help you step by step to discover how to truly resolve the issues so that you are free and you really can go through the very evolved process called forgiveness. It's not just some behavioral ideal. Oh, I forgive you. Well, I got to resolve it emotionally, as I've already said several times. Or I can't fully forgive myself for my learning curve, or you in your learning curve. Let me plant that seed a little further about learning curves. If we all have them, first of all, but if I can't allow myself to have a learning curve with compassion and forgiveness, remorse and forgiveness, if I can't do that for myself, I can't really do it for you either. For other people, I might be able to pretend it and bury the rest of the feelings, but I can't love outside myself any more fully than I'm capable of loving inside myself. So, whoever asked this question, and I know it's many people who have this question and this issue, know that you need to learn how to connect to self with compassion. It's one of the 9 nurturing needs. Compassion, acceptance, acknowledgement, safety, connection, and affection, guidance, support, and encouragement. You need to learn how to provide all of those 9 nurturing needs, and then you need to know how to process the feelings so that you honor them. You give them a voice just for yourself. You empty them out and release the charge that most feelings which are buried have been buried with, the charge of fear, shame, and judgment. When you learn how, in a very safe, nurturing way, to release those feelings, you will be able to answer your own question. Of course I know how to come to terms with the situations, the challenges, the learning curve. Of course I can forgive myself and others, and then I can communicate and set myself up better the next time, and the time after that, and the time after that, where I continue to practice healthy things in my life, and they get better and better and better. This is what's possible. So I hope this has given you some clarity about how to come to terms with things so that you can truly let them go and move beyond those wounded limitations. Please keep sending in your questions. Please keep passing the word about this podcast. Please comment on YouTube. All of those likes and comments encourage other people to listen to the things that you have found of value. I think that's all for today. I will look forward to speaking with you again next week, and I hope that you will reach out through the website in various ways, that you'll become proactively involved at the website, ronbaker.net, and that there will be a chance even to meet you at an event someday so that we can share directly how to touch hearts, how to value one another, I think that's all I'll say for today. Have a great week.